Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Hot mess.
Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm. But hey, it's good to be back.
It is. It's so good to be back.
Yep.
And
It's been a struggle getting here tonight too.
yeah. It was actually supposed to be last week. And well, first we were gonna do last Wednesday night, and then I was like, I'm not quite ready with my shit. And then Thursday somebody was sleepy. And then Friday I had a nail appointment. And then Saturday was the day. And then we were like, let's just wait until next week. So
Yeah.
here we are.
My whole weekend was kind of a day.
So I got two, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's fine.
but I got two things I want to say. First of all, thank everybody for being patient and kind of holding on. And I wanted to send a huge thank you to Rachel for stepping in and literally carrying the last two episodes that we
Thank you, Rachel. You have been a podcast saver.
did. Yes.
So you are greatly appreciated. And I thank you for stepping in to take over for me while I had to take my little time off. Um, I just I had a lot going on in my head. Still do. On a whole different level. Jill knows about it. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
definitely something. But we're
but
back.
yes. And I came back with some great information that I found in my whole process. So I did soul searching, realizing I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I used to try to do shadow work, not really understanding what I was doing. I would research the hell out of it, and all the research I found could not give me the answers that I was looking for, which was what am I missing? What am I not doing that this is not working? And it took a therapist to find the answer for me. And I got the best, clearest answers from this webinar um, than I have gotten in the past 3 years. And it was free to me, and I'm making it free to you. It has been an eye opener, and it is helping to lead me down a path that I think will bring big changes for me.
Good.
Um, and this was actually done by two therapists, Matthias Barker, who is actually on TikTok, and Frank Anderson, and they are both also on Instagram and I believe on Facebook. Not 100% on that one though. But the focus of the webinar was getting past the past. And I know that that's something that can be an issue for a lot of people in so many different aspects. And what they taught works for anybody, no matter what the problem or situation, these steps help.
Okay.
Um, and they even remarked on how cliche it was that they had 3 steps when all over the internet they're saying, hey, here's steps. Just pay this much. Just do this. Well, they didn't do that. They just gave us the 3 steps and gave great explanations to them. So, the first step to helping to get past your past is realizing that we don't want to be vulnerable. Nobody does. Um, and so you want to be a wit or sorry, we all have a tendency to be a witness in our own story, meaning when we're telling stories, we step back from our past as we tell the stories so that we can tell it. And we have no emotional connection. We can tell you the emotions that were there, but we cut that off. And so, what we need to do instead is to actually feel the feelings that are coming up. That is actually a part of the physical aspect of sharing the story. There's two parts to it. You have your internal sharing. That's where you're admitting to yourself what happened, who did what, whatever. You did this. But as you're telling the story, make sure that you're putting the feeling there and making sure that you're feeling the feeling. That's whether you're journaling or actually telling. Inside sharing is meditating, journaling. Physical sharing is telling others. And in the act of sharing our stories, it makes us no longer the only holder of those feelings. And so that allows us to lift the burden. But we can only do that if that part of us that feels the hurt, the pain, the sadness feels safe to let that out. If we don't feel safe, we're going to backpedal. The second step is to give a corrective experience. And that's where you want to just confirm and take it apart. So that's where you're going to notice the cycles, and you're going to self reinforce those bad cycles because you don't want to feel it. And that's where, similar to if you're not, or sorry, you're told you're not good enough. And so you say you want to go learn how to ride a bike. You already have it in your head, you're not good enough. So when you get on that bike and you pedal 1, 2, fall, see, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, and you walk away. You reinforce that in your mind that you're not. And so instead, you want to correct it and say, I am good enough. I can do it. I fell. No big deal. I can get on and do it again. Because some people didn't have that. They didn't have that person to correct it and say, no, it's okay. It's no problem. Just hop back on, try again. In a lot of cases, that's children and parents, but it can also be that someone didn't receive it at school. Some teacher didn't give recognition for something that, the child thought that they were supposed to get, or it could be with a grandparent, or even as we're older, we can see it with our own siblings, our own children. And we can keep reaffirming that and keeping that cycle going. And unfortunately, when we have that mindset and we stay stuck in that cycle, we're also teaching it to the future. And in most cases, when we get to that point, we want to correct it. Like I said, and it's from not feeling validated. And we all create this protector inside of us that will keep us at that level. It's that inner voice that says, nope, you can't do it. You can't do it. Even if in your heart, you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You still have that voice in your head. No, you can't. You're not good enough. You have to shut that protector part off and push past it, but only if you feel safe enough. If you don't feel safe, that protector is just going to keep nailing you back down. Uh, do, 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 do. This is something that a lot of millennials have. And it all
Entitlement.
kind huh?
Entitlement.
No. We all have
Sorry.
an unnamed void inside of us. And it's something that happened to us as a kid. And in this particular example that they used, it was one of neglect, an absence that can be just as strong as an action. Say you fell off that bike and there was literally no one there to help you. You then feel that void, and we give it a name ourselves. We don't know what it is, but we're like, oh, they don't love me enough to be around me to watch me ride my bike, or I'm not good enough for them to come see me, and that's that child self that everyone talks about. Gotta heal that inner child. That's us millennials. Our inner children are angry. But and that's where we want to correct it and say, no, it's okay. We did it. We survived. And look, we're stronger for it. But we have to feel it, not intellectualize it. And that's something I didn't realize I did, which is that I intellectualize my feelings. I can tell you what it is. I can tell you it's sad, lonely, whatever. But I can't describe the feeling to you. And so one way to basically help to move past that is to acknowledge it. Acknowledge that we didn't get it. What the?
Huh?
I don't know what that is.
What?
Don't you hear that?
No.
I don't know what happened. You don't hear anything?
No.
My headset is playing music. Hold on. I don't know what my headset is connected to. It won't stop playing music.
All right then.
I have no idea where this music came from.
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear shit. It was all on your end.
Yeah, I turned it back on and all of a sudden it's still playing music.
Huh.
That big. I got nothing. I got nothing. So another way that they describe this as the emotional bills weren't being met. We all have those certain feelings that we want to feel from whatever person, and we don't get that paid. The trick is not to get mad at the fact that we didn't. and to realize that they did the best that they could in the time, but the best that they had in most cases. I understand not all. But we have to acknowledge it, and that we did have to give it to ourselves. Once we do the inner work, we do the physical work, we're able to feel safe, we're able to accept those things, and that we've been able to, kind of acknowledge all the feelings that were involved with whatever scenario that, is causing us the greatest pain at the time. We then get a release. But we don't get the release if we don't feel safe. We don't get the release if we don't do that physical aspect of the sharing and the feeling while the sharing. And you have to correct it. You have to acknowledge that, okay, you didn't have that emotional bill paid as a child, but you have it paid now as an adult. The release can come in many forms. It can be crying. It can be energetically, say you feel lighter, or you suddenly have this huge rush of energy, after getting something off of your chest. Or you can do like a physical active yoga. And actually, I've seen this in like the cracking videos, like the chiropractor ones. People will go in for an adjustment, and in whatever adjustment they break down, because in most cases there is some type of emotional baggage tied to the physical, injury, whether it be from like a car crash or a fall, something like that. There's always an emotional baggage. And once that pain is gone, it's that huge release, and people break down in chiropractors' offices quite a bit. So another way that people can have a release, and I love this idea, you can write your problem on a brick and then throw it in the river. It's gone. It's no longer your problem. It is no longer taking up space in your mind and in your heart. One thing to keep in mind when releasing is that you're going to put imagination into it. You're going to use the power of your mind. This is my problem. It's right here. This is whoever. This is that little child's pain. This is that broken leg. It's gone. It's no longer part of me. And imagine that memory going with it, that pain going with it. So yeah, those are the 3 steps. Sorry. So many people say that in order to heal the past, you have to forgive. You have to forgive your parent for not paying enough attention to you. You have to forgive the person that hurt you. Guess what? You don't. You don't. But there is a release in allowing that forgiveness. However, if you can't forgive the person, Don't let them eat you up. If you can't forgive them, grieve them. They're dead. They're gone. And now they can no longer take your energy. They no longer deserve your feelings and your thoughts. So once you work through the 3 steps and you release, they're no longer a part of your life. And I think that don't come at me, and any listeners don't come at me. But the LGBTQI, I think, community, when people have dead names, you know what I mean? They're supposed to go to therapy and work through their issues, and then they get rid of their dead name. And it's no longer a part of them. And if people bring it up, then it causes a whole torrent, of emotions, because that person is supposed to be dead. They're gone. They are no longer a part of you. So in a lot of cases with situations like that, people do end up, completely losing family members and whole families and stuff like that, unfortunately. But in a lot of cases, people have to rely on that apology. They want the person who hurt them to apologize. They want the parent to acknowledge that they didn't do the best. If you have to have that apology, then you're going to have to go the forgiveness route. But if you can live without the apology and you can't forgive them, release them and grieve them. In the particular instance, it was that like a father had owed the son like $20,000. Said they were going to pay it back. Never paid it back. Oh, I'll pay it this time. Nope, didn't pay it back. Oh, I'll pay it this time. Nope, didn't pay it back. And the son holds the anger for the father for not paying it back because he's relying on that money to pay bills.
Yeah, I know that feeling pretty fucking well.
Yeah, and if you can't forgive them for not paying that back, you have to stop relying on that money to pay the bills. You have to accept the fact that you're never getting that money. And in accepting it, you're going to let go of that anger and you can say goodbye.
Okay, I'm hold on. I'm gonna disagree with you there because I've accepted that the one relative of mine that owes me a shit ton of money, I've accepted I ain't getting it, but I'm still pissed about it. I know I'm not getting it, but I'm still pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't 100% agree with.
It's because you haven't let go of the anger. You haven't fully accepted.
No, I've accepted. I know I'm not getting it, but it pisses me off that I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
Because I paid a bill every month. I loaned money for other things and never got back, and watched this person make other purchases instead of paying me back. I know I'm not getting that money back. I know to the depths of my soul I'm not getting it back, but it still pisses me off because I was taken advantage of. But I've accepted the fact I'm not getting it back. I know I'm not.
I'm sorry.
So I'm just saying that that particular one I don't agree with.
Do you realize though that he has power over you now?
No.
Because you're angry.
Yeah, I'm angry.
And that's how he has power over you. He's controlling your
I'm
anger.
angry.
And that's something that
I
most
am.
people release.
Right. I get it's my anger,
Mhm.
but I don't feel he has power over me because he'll play stupid over it. Oh, I forgot. When I owe somebody money, I
It's
don't forget.
true.
I don't forget I owe them money. I don't care if it's $5. I'm not gonna forget that I owe you this money.
Mhm.
And we're talking thousands.
Yeah, I remember.
Not, not just, a few here, a few there. Where I'm talking thousands. Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah. It's a whole it's a thing.
That's
It,
pretty good. Not remembering thousands of dollars. Wow.
so again, I've accepted I'm not getting it back. I've accepted it. But it still makes me angry.
Yeah.
And I'm not counting on that for bill money. I know it's gone. Poof. But it still makes me mad. So I don't necessarily agree with that one.
That's what they gave. uh, just looking through the other parts here.
We can just save mine for next time.
Sorry, was mine that good or that long? I didn't think it
Huh?
was gonna be that long.
Yeah.
Was it? Shit, sorry. It's the examples. Sorry.
That's okay.
So yeah, one other thing too is that since the first component to the healing is being able to feel safe, is that if you're still with your aggressor, whether it's that it's a domestic violence case or you're a teen in an aggressive home, um, there is going to be no safety. And you're not going to be able to open up. And in some cases, when people are put into that situation where they're cornered, what happens?
They
They,
attack.
yeah, they react with violence. Um, and so this is kind of, the PSA. If you need help, reach out and get it.
Definitely.
There's always someone who's willing to listen and help.
Absolutely.
And that's what I got.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry that was kind of heavy.
That's all right.
That's how my last couple of months have been going. Pretty heavy.
Yeah. I have recently become a bird mom.
What kind of chicken nugget was the one bird gonna come on as again?
I have parakeets, but one is working its way to my air fryer.
To a spicy nugget.
It's an asshole. She's an asshole.
Yeah, she stalks the other one.
Oh my god, they're terrible.
I've witnessed it, so yeah, it's here. Pew, 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 pew.
Yep,
Every time.
if one is on this branch and the other one's over here, this one will go and then boom, right up against and like peck at her head. It's
Yeah, in fact,
she's
Jill
an
even showed
asshole.
me where the smaller one couldn't even eat by itself. The bigger one came and was like right next to her.
It's and then okay, okay. So I got the first one. Like we just decided, boom, we're getting a bird. So we went and picked it up. I named her Lilith. And I had posted about her on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and a girl I work with said, "Does your bird need a friend?" And parakeets are social birds,
Mm-hmm.
so they typically do well with another bird,
Mm-hmm.
um, providing that bird's not a dickhead. Um,
I'm gonna apologize if your coworker hears this, but at the same time, I'm sure you've already told her.
no, I, I really haven't given her updates. Like once I Rachel and I went one night after work, picked it up. I drive a small car. The cage is fucking ginormous. Um, and they sent like totes of stuff with this bird. I didn't really care for the name that the bird had. She said, feel free to rename it. So it is Lucy. So I have Lilith and Lucy. And Lucy is the asshole. She's an asshole. Um, but yeah, we got it here. Rachel and I put the cage together. Um, and we had put Lucy in the smaller cage with Lilith while we were trying. And oh, it was so cute. They were all like, they like instantly bonded. It was crazy. And then we moved them to the bigger cage. And that's when Lucy was like, no, bitch, this was my cage. So I'm the boss. So that's the story of the birds.
Maybe you should try moving him back to the small cage for once.
You know, I thought about that. I did. But um Lucy does not have clipped wings. So getting her from one place to the other was a nightmare. In fact, that's how we realized she didn't have clipped wings is Roy opened up the cage and Lucy just said, "Bye, bitch," and fucking took off.
That's awesome. Have you
So
guys, can you pick her up? I can tell you how to trim her wings.
I am going to call the pet shop that I bought Lilith at, and because I know they clipped her wings before we brought her home.
Okay.
Because before we got Lucy, Lilith was going crazy in the cage, so we would let her out. She would just roam.
Mm-hmm.
She would actually go to one corner or the other corner and just sit there, and I'd have food and water for her, and she would just chill. But no, we can't really do that now because I'm worried if we open the cage. Like I open the cage, to change the food, obviously, and when I clean it out, it's got the slide out trays.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm just worried if I open the door and I'm not standing right in front of it, she's gonna fly. I was gonna say run, but
Yeah.
yeah, she's a dick. She's just a dick.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's really no other way to put that. She's a dick. But they I've got this little, it's like a speaker and it changes lights. It's shaped like a little pumpkin. And I get up in the morning and once my coffee's on and I'm waiting for it, I turn on the phone, I turn on the speaker, and they listen to Spotify all day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they listen to Spotify. It's yeah, it's something. But that's like my biggest news is them fucking birds.
I don't have any big news.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say that that's about it. Um, yeah, it's been the last month has just been kind of eh,
Yeah.
Nothing special. I mean, we are in the middle of, well, thankfully, we're coming up to the tail end of Mercury retrograde. By the time this comes out, we will be out of retrograde, which is what we need. Because
Yeah.
I did, uh, okay, so this Sunday is the 14th, right? So it would,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. I was getting ready to pull into a spot at Walmart and I thought I hit something.
Oh shit.
Um, but it wasn't. It was I was getting ready to pull into a parking space. So I actually had my brakes on and another vehicle wasn't paying attention and backed right into me. Yeah. So me and my anger, I get out of the car and I'm yelling, "Weren't you fucking looking?" Like I was not a happy person. So I get out and I'm like holding my arms up, like, what the fuck? And I walk around and you can see like where, there's scrapes
Mm-hmm.
and there was a dent. Um, and then they get out of the vehicle. Because they did pull out and pull in behind me because I just pulled into a spot where I could pull through to the
Mm-hmm.
and they pull in behind me and he gets out. The driver is probably, I'm going to say early to mid 70s with thick glasses. like, and the wife was just like, oh my God, we're like, they felt bad. First of all, it's private property. In the state of Michigan, they won't do anything because it's private property. Um, yeah, so like I just sat there and I calmed down for a minute and then I'm like, you know what? My car's drivable. It's fine. There's just a little dent. It's fine. Just go home. And so they leave. I get back in my car and I text Roy and I'm like, so I was just in a little accident. And he calls me, what do you mean? Like,
I
and
bet
I'm
he's
like, it's
freaking
fine.
out
But of
considering the
course,
accidents that have happened
yeah,
recently. Oh, that's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. So like he called me, he was like, are you all right? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm I'm fine. And I explained what had happened and he was like, are you sure you're okay? Did you hit your head? I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I really did. I thought like as I was like turning into a spot, like maybe I hit like the cart thing or something. But
Yeah.
no, that wasn't it. And then of course this is the one time I go without a list. And my head is like all over the place because I'm thinking of that and I'm like, okay, I gotta get this. And then I think of that, and then I get home and I'm like, I forgot so much shit.
So Friday, the day we had the full moon and the eclipse, I had several panic attacks in Walmart, picking the most mundane of things. Um, one was attempting to pick body wash. Hmm hmm Another, I was trying to pick lotion. Um, I ended up hiding out in the hunting section. That was fun. Um, Forgot several things, even though I had a list.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. Yeah, I
My
didn't have a
anger,
list. If I would
though,
have had a list, I would have.
sorry, my anger, though, I wasn't able to check like you could. I sent an email, an angry email to the head of my department. Do better. So
Yeah, But yeah, so that, I mean, I guess those are like my really big things. And I'm gonna leave it up to you because I know you're an hour behind me, but it's like already after 2 o'clock. So
Yeah,
I could start and just
we can
do
we can wait and do next time. You can do next time, and then we'll go back to the duels after that.
okay. I mean, it don't matter. I can start it. Like I've had these notes for over a week now. In
You're
fact,
determined.
because one of the sources that I am using for this is oddly enough a podcast.
Oh,
But
okay.
but if you listen to podcasts, like especially like true crime podcasts, they will listen to other podcasts
Mm-hmm.
and like so I listened to it before and I'm like, okay, we're recording tonight, so I just want to refresh. So yeah. Like I said, I can start tonight. Um, because as I'm listening to the other one, I'm like, you know, the notes I have just aren't quite enough.
Um,
Um, because to get to where we're at, there is some detail that I didn't initially have in my notes that I'm like, I really need to bring that up. So
um, well, I'm noticing we're getting a little glitchy again.
lovely.
Yeah. How long have we been going?
I
I don't either. That's not
I don't
helpful.
know.
Sorry, I don't remember us.
I don't know, like probably from the time I sent the email to you. Um,
I think it's close to an hour that we've
yeah,
been on. Just that we've been on the
but yeah, we
Zoom.
haven't been recording. Yeah, we haven't been recording for an hour.
Oh, you froze again. Oh, there. They're
You were
short
fine.
ones. So, I mean, if you want, we can go.
I don't know.
Up to you.
Uh, like I said, I can start.
Okay.
Um, I'm just worried about the glitchiness.
Yeah. I know it was doing it a bit while I was
So
talking to
I'll leave it
uh,
up to you.
you. Just did a major jump.
Yeah, I keep getting the thing saying your internet connection is unstable. So I guess maybe we'll do this next time, or I don't know, maybe we can jump on and do a little bit.
We could always try in the morning too.
Yeah, we could do that.
Maybe add it on.
Yeah,
All right.
add it on or two, because it's been a while. We could do a an extra
Ooh, there we
little
go.
gift.
My mom will be so happy.
All right, so I guess on that note,
That was very
uh,
robotic. Are you there?
yeah,
Oh, okay. You did a neat, neat.
that's, no,
Like
I
you
was
moved
waiting for
away.
you to say what you said.
Oh, I said what I was gonna say.
Oh, I didn't hear it all.
All right. On that note,
Yeah, let's just fuck it.
all right. Until next time, friends.
Bye.
Bye.